Hey guys, I'm Tom from Mr. Poolman. Today, we're gonna take a brown pool back to its clear, normal state, going through a few of the processes that we need, step by step, what we're gonna do, and get that pool looking crystal clear again. What I've done so far is I've just taken the cleaner out of the pool. So try to get anything that's floating or in the pool out of the pool. So the cleaner's out. I've gone into the skimmer basket here, emptied the skimmer basket, removed the vacuum plate as well. We want to make sure there's enough water flow going through the skimmer as much as possible. That's only going to help the filtration. So over here at the pump and filter, we had to clean a lot of the debris away. This pool was flooded, it was fully submerged. So be sure to check any of your equipment with an electrical, just to make sure that everything's safe. We've done that. So from here, we know the pump's good. The filter is going to need cleaning, which we'll come back to shortly. The chlorinator is not working. So the chlorinator box was fully submerged, has caused some electrical faults within there. So we're going to look at replacing that, and that will come at a later video. All right guys, so you've got a cartridge filter here that needs to be cleaned. This pool is very dirty, very brown. So what you want to make sure you do is turn off any valves if they're required. If your pool's below water level, there may be valves you need to shut off. Make sure your pump's off. If you want to be sure, you can also disconnect your pump just to be 100% sure. From there, all cartridge filters will have a bleed valve at the top here. So you can bleed that at the top. You'll hear that air getting released into the tank. That's depressurizing the tank as we do this. Now from here, you've got a very dirty cartridge filter. Right, so now what we're going to do is take the lid off, remove the cartridge filter element. As you guys can see in there, it's super dirty. The pleats themselves just absolutely cake. So what we'll do, we'll take that around the side, we'll give it a hose with a hose, rinse it out, and get it back in the system. All right guys, so here we're just going up and down, trying to get in between the pleats. So getting all that debris out of the filter pleats. As you can see, it's coming out. The filter's still actually in quite good condition, so definitely just needs a good clean. Always start from the top down and just work your way through the pleats. Add some chemicals and definitely help that filtration process. All right guys, so we've cleaned the filter cartridge. As you can see, looks way better than when we pulled it out. Certainly going to help that pool get nice and clear. From here, it's just as simple as replacing it as we pulled it out. So straight back into the canister. You'll feel it find its spigot there. Spigot on the top as well. Help locate that center filter, and then lid back on. Now this should just be as simple as dropping it in place and screwing it up, and then from there, plug your pump back in, turn it on, and you want to have your bleed valve, your air bleed valve open, ready just to screw up as that water fills the tank. So now what we're going to do, we've changed the filter, everything over in the system's running as best as possible. Today we're going to keep it super simple, just some chlorine and some acid. Not overcomplicate it. You can see the pool is black, so we just start with the two basics, make some changes in the pool water. Today we'll add the chlorine and the acid. I'm using super strength black spot remover. It's like a 70% chlorine rather than the liquid chlorine, just for the time being, just to really give it a good hit. Hey guys, Tom from Mr. Poolman here, day 2 at our green pool recovery. So what we're going to do today from top to bottom is give the pool a scoop. So try and get any sort of the debris out that might be on the floor of the pool, probably a lot of pine needles, leaves, sticks from the recent flood. And then from there, we'll empty the skimmer basket, empty the pump basket. So from here, we're going to empty the pump basket and take all the debris out of that. Simple upside down, you give it a tap like that, straight back in the pump, and away you go. All right guys, now last step for the equipment today is going to be taking out the cartridge filter. So you want to just make sure you get deep in those pleats. Working your way top to bottom is usually best practice. So now we're at the final stage for today. We're going to add a few more chemicals. Again, keeping it quite simple. So the chlorine, the acid, some super strength granulated chlorine, just to give this a good shock. Something additional that we're going to add today is a clarifier. Hopefully give us a little bit more clarity for when we come back tomorrow on day 3, and then start giving it a vacuum and getting the last of that debris out of the pool. All right guys, here we are, day 3 of the cleanup. So today, what we're going to do is vacuum the debris or the silt that's in the bottom of the pool to waste. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a sand filter here, so we do have to use a 3-way bypass valve. We're going to get the cleaner, all the manual cleaning equipment hooked up, get it pumping out to waste, and very quickly try and get as much of that debris out of the pool while the water's still in the pool. What we're going to do here is, because it's a cartridge filter system, we are going to vac it to waste. This is using the bypass valve, and what that now does is going to open that line to go completely out the waste line, which is going to go across the backyard, and that's how we're going to get a lot of this dirt, sediment and silt out of the pool. Now, when you vacuum to waste, you've got to keep in mind the water level in the pool, because you do reduce the water level when you vacuum to waste, which we have done so here. It's nearly about 2 to 3 inches, which is fine. So what we're going to do now is come in, empty our skimmer basket, and then we're also going to do the same with the pump basket. Here we are, end of day 3. All of the debris out to waste, which has been unreal. We didn't vacuum the walls or anything, just being mindful of the water level, which we're nearly back to ideal. So I gave the pool a brush, stirred up all the last of the
algae and the gunk that was on the floor. That will now go through the pool's normal filtration cycle. So the filter's in, recirculating back to the pool, which is fantastic. We'll come back here tomorrow, do our final vac, add some more chemicals, and it should be looking crystal clear. First up, we're taking the cartridge out to give it a clean. As you can see, super dirty. Now this is what happens really if you don't clean the cartridge after adding a clarifier or a clarifying cube. It can clog, it's very slimy. A lot of the debris stuck in the filter as such, which we'll give it a clean, we'll try and bring it back to life. So I'm just vacuuming the pool here. Now the vacuuming process goes via the pump. The pool pump is what's drawing the water through and giving us the suction through the filter, which is the tall black cartridge there, and then back via the salt cell, the pipes to the returns at the pool, and then that's blowing the water back into the pool. Now ideally your returns point towards the sky is what we feel is the best option. So any sort of debris that hits the surface gets pushed along the top of the pool back into the skimmer box before it settles down to the bottom of the pool. Obviously any debris that you have in the pool that's going to sit on the floor of the pool is going to chew up more chemicals and more chlorine. Here we are, day 4 of our pool cleanup. As you can see, it's looking fantastic. Day 4 is today. We're able to do a normal pool vac, dosed it with some more chemicals, and then next week we'll come back and add some more salt. So this is how you take a brown or black pool back to clear.